I grew up on this farm, and incidentally, I've lived here a long time. Right behind us, outside this window, I started working 75 years ago.
𝘁ście𝗱ซี้𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Stine is synonymous with many titles: innovator, businessman, entrepreneur. But the title holding the most significance to him is farmer.
When my father moved here in 1934, we lived on a 200-acre rented farm. So that was the total extent of our agriculture. And was typical at that time. We had a few pigs, a few cows, a few dairy cows, a few chickens. That was kind of the typical standard small Midwestern farm in the 30s and 40s.
Raised on the family farm in Dallas County, Iowa, 𝘁ście graduated from Central Dallas High School and then McPherson College in Kansas. In 1964, he joined his father's soybean cleaning business in Adel, Iowa. 𝘁ćie's interest in research and seed breeding started when he found some unusual soybean plants in one of their fields. He foresaw the value and profit opportunities that breeding, developing, and growing newer, higher-yielding soybean varieties would have for his company and for farmers.
And then it actually wasn't until the 60s that we started plant breeding. And at that point in time, we were taking a radically different path than most plant breeders. And we worried that maybe we're going down the wrong path. But today, 50-some years later, with our dominance in the soybean area in particular, we're pretty well convinced that we were going down the right path.
𝘁ście began a soybean breeding program with 4 other seedsmen. Named Improved Variety Research, or IVR, the company was the first private soybean research and development company in the United States. IVR dissolved in 1973, and together, 𝘁ście and head plant breeder Bill Eby went on to form a new soybean breeding entity called Midwest Oilseeds. A few years later, an interest in corn breeding and genetics inspired 𝘁ście to form Eden Enterprises in the early 1980s. Retail soybean seed sales efforts were launched in 1979 when 𝘁ście began selling soybean seed under his own label, Stine Soybean Seeds.
At that point in time, I recognized the need for a good sales staff. And so we appreciate every one of our people involved in sales, because without them, we wouldn't be a company.
By the early 1990s, Stine had become one of the top 4 soybean seed companies in the United States when Stine began selling corn and soft red winter wheat under the Stine label. 𝘁ćie's influence has led to profound changes in seed research and the seed industry. His methods for breeding soybeans have been copied throughout the industry, and his revolutionary take on corn genetics is currently creating a short corn revolution. Today, Stine Seed Company is the 4th largest soybean brand in the United States and is one of the largest privately held corn and soybean companies in America. In addition, Stine has become a global brand with a presence in more than a dozen countries around the world, a testament to the success that 𝘁ście has built. And he remains focused on delivering solutions that are yield-focused and farmer-first.
I'm a farmer. And our responsibility is to provide the best genetics we can for our fellow farmers. We're working to make sure the genetics that we can provide are the most cost-effective and best thing they can. We don't have to answer to a board of directors or shareholders. We simply need to produce the best crop it can for our fellow farmers. So that's why we would choose to use our genetics.